Hey, it's your boy, Mike the Situation, Sorrentino. Welcome to Statute of Limitations. It's the ultimate lineup. It's crooks.
This is not my fault that I stole this car.
It's con men.
This is my chance. I can be rich for life.
It's wannabe kingpins.
We all made together $500,000.
And queen pins.
It was basically a lounge of criminals.
These are stories of the nonviolent lucky punks and Robin Hoods that dodge the law.
I could have gone to prison, not jail, prison.
Because here's the situation, baby. It's only a matter of time before the statute of limitations is up. And technically, you might walk away scot-free. But don't take it from me, guys. I'm obviously no lawyer. This is Statute of Limitations. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Mike the Situation, Sorrentino. Welcome to the show where everyday folks share stories of crimes they committed back in the day. Tonight on Statute of Limitations, we have a girl whose little party plan went viral, and she lost all control, and I'm pretty sure we were there. I mean, that party was lit. I had to get out of there. And we have a genius like me who taught himself how to fly, but things flew off the rail when he decided to actually steal a plane. Who does that? Anyway, guys, the woman we're about to hear from knows a thing or two about throwing a party, and that's location, location, location. Meet Chloe.
I'm Chloe, and in 2010, I threw a massive party at a billionaire's house while they were out of town, and I got away with it. So I was fresh out of college, and I worked for a real estate company. My job was I would get the keys to the houses. I would, coordinate letting people in to clean them, to do the staging, all of that. So this house had just been staged, and we were getting ready to do some showings. And so I had the keys to this multi-million-dollar mansion. This house is awesome. It has an ocean view over the cliffside and gigantic pool, hot tub, everything. Multiple bedrooms, multiple bathrooms, marble on the floor on the inside, updated kitchen, grand staircase, chandeliers, top-notch appliances, everything you can imagine a $9 million home looking like. This had it. I was young, and me and my friends still really liked to party, and so the owners were out of town. I knew they were going to be out of town for a few more weeks. I thought, I'll just have some friends over, right? I'll invite about 10, 15 people. We'll have a good time, and the next day, I'll pay for cleaning people to come by, clean it up. It'll be fine, no problem. I was not worried about it. I'd thrown plenty of parties for my friends before, and I knew we were all responsible. So we get there, and we're just in the kitchen. My friends and I were drinking. A few hours goes by. We order food, and my one friend asks if he can invite some friends. So I say yeah. And then another friend is like, oh, if that's cool, I'm just going to text my friend. They live really close. So I say that's fine. I trust my friends. Well, one thing led to another, and 50 people show up a few hours later, and I start to notice a lot more people are there. There's no line for the bathroom, and I'm starting to get a little nervous, but I'm also pretty drunk. So the nerves in me and the responsible person in me is kind of put to the wayside. Everybody's having a good time. Nothing really crazy is going on. And then it got real. There's hundreds of people there. UC Santa Barbara kids heard about this party, and now it is absolutely out of control. It was just thing after thing. People were dancing in this main foyer area. The side yard was really, really muddy. People had been slipping in that side yard, and then they were tracking mud in through the house. So there is mud everywhere. The amount of things that were knocked over, vases, lamps, alcohol spilled all over the furniture, all over these nice cream carpets. The bathrooms are a total mess. The bedrooms are now ruined. I'm sure people were stealing things from the bedrooms. Nothing was locked up. There's glass in the pool. People are having sex in the hot tub. I walk into the kitchen. There are these two guys and they're fighting each other. So then there's holes in the drywall. That's sort of when I lost it. I'm essentially hyperventilating. And I ran outside. I found my friend, Claire, and I'm just crying to Claire at this point because my parents helped me get this job. I'm about to lose this job. It's our family friends. So I can't call them. I can't let them know that I did this. And what am I going to call the cops? And then I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to be the one responsible. Everything's running through my mind. Am I going to go to jail? And of course I knew that these billionaires were going to press charges because I'm ruining their house. They're trying to sell this house and I'm ruining it. So not only am I ruining my career at this point, I'm scared that I'm going to go to jail for years. I'm ruining my life. So I don't know what to do.
Sounds like my kind of party right there, guys. But for Chloe, opening up a stranger's mansion could get her locked up. So what's a girl to do here? Offer up the ultimate lie of a lifetime. We'll have Chloe's crafty plan to escape prosecution next on Statute of Limitations. Welcome back to Statute of Limitations. Our girl Chloe is in a bad spot after a party she threw in a billionaire's mansion got mad crazy. This house is wrecked. Her career might be too. At the end of the day, guys, when you hear those sirens, there are two choices, fight or flight. And best believe it's not good to fight the cops. We're running.
I just want to run away. I don't want to face this at all. I'm even scared to start telling people to leave because I don't want them to hurt me. Everybody is really, really drunk. So I do the only thing that I can think of, which is I'm going to call the cops on this party. And before the cops get here, I'm leaving. And so I call 911. I tell them that a frat from UC Santa Barbara is throwing a party at this mansion and the cops show up. And before they do, I'm out of there. I think I'm in the clear. But I wake up on Sunday morning and I realize the coat that I was wearing that day, I left at the house. And this is like my favorite leather jacket. I wear this leather jacket everywhere. It has like this really specific design on the shoulder. And I'm texting my friends if they have pictures of me tagged in this jacket to take that photo off the internet. I am really nervous that this jacket traces me to this house. My plan is I'm going to go into work early. I'm going to return the keys we had this like room that had keys and binders for each of our properties. So I'm going to put the keys there and then I'm going to leave. I'm going to go to the coffee shop and I'm going to show up back to work a little later after I know a lot of people are already there. That way they don't think I got in early and I did this. So I show up to work. I'm trying to play it cool. I'm trying to pretend like I'm not involved. I wasn't there. My boss is like, do you know what happened at the Ocean View Estate house? I just say no. I was actually going to pick up the keys today and get it ready for some of the showings we had later that week. They go in the room, they check, the keys are there. So my plan for Monday morning work, I'm actually feeling a little better at this point until my boss tells me that it was $100,000 worth of damage and my heart sank at that point. My company is losing this listing, so my boss is pissed and there's going to be an investigation. I knew if there was an investigation that they would figure it out that it was me. So I was sweating bullets. I was freaking out. I barely made it through that workday without crying. I have to figure out what I'm going to do. I can't stay at this job. They're going to figure out it was me. But I'm thinking if I quit my job tomorrow, it's going to be super obvious that I'm somehow involved. Like they can trace it back to me. I needed some other excuse. And I remember my grandmother lives in Boca Raton. I'll say I need to go visit my grandma. I'm going to spend time with her. She's getting older. And so I called the only person who I know, well, keep my secret, my best friend. My best friend is from West Palm Beach, Florida. She moved back there after college, and she's like, come here. You can live with me. We'll figure it out. We'll get you a job. She'll help me. I could sell this story. Now I'm just trying to figure out, do I quit on Tuesday? Is Tuesday too soon? So I go in on Tuesday, and I have my friend call me when I'm at work, and we pretend that my grandmother is being rushed to the hospital, and I'm crying at work. I'm really pulling these crocodile tears in front of everybody, and it worked. It worked. Everybody saw me cry at work. I left early that day, pretending my grandmother was really sick and going into the hospital, and then on Wednesday I quit. I moved to Florida that weekend, and it's been a few weeks. I haven't heard from anybody. I'm feeling actually like I'm getting away with this. And then my phone rings, and it's my boss, Jeff. And I'm freaking out. So I don't answer it. I don't know what he's gonna say to me. And at this point, I've already lied so much. I was nervous that I wouldn't be able to remember the last thing I told him, and I didn't pick up the phone. Thankfully, he left a message. It was something really simple, like he needed my address for my last paycheck. And I was in Florida. So again, I felt like my story checked out, and I sent him my Florida address, and it was all good. And he ended up asking, how is your grandmother doing? I saw that you posted. And so my whole plan, moving to Florida, actually worked out for me, and that's how I got away with it. So now it's been, 10 years, Statute of Limitations is up, and now when I look back at it, yeah, it's a pretty cool story that I'm excited I get to tell, and sorry, Jeff, it was me. But yeah, threw a pretty sweet party.
So in the end, Chloe could have been relocated to a California jail. But thanks to her quick wit, she was able to move on with a record a lot cleaner than the house that she left. Now, when it comes to criminal behavior, some dudes are operating at a higher level. Just ask our next perp. He flew in the face of fate, and right now, he's free to air it all. Meet Jared.
I'm Jared, and back in 2000, I stole a plane. A few times, and I never got caught. The statute of limitations is up, so now I can tell my story. Well, I always wanted to fly a plane. After I saw Top Gun as a kid, I was like, that seems really cool. But, I was broke. My mom was just a cocktail waitress at the Luxor. We lived outside Vegas. I couldn't afford flight lessons, so it's like, $100 an hour or something like that? We didn't have $100 to our name. The thing about me is, I'm a pretty quick learner. It's not hard to memorize things. I have a photographic memory. It's not really like...
Let's test you here.
Okay.
1980, who won the World Series?
Phillies.
Who won the first Super Bowl?
Packers over Chiefs.
Do you remember the score?
Oh, what was the score? It was, 35-10? I didn't double check it.
I'm gonna look.
Yeah, it's...
Super Bowl one, it was...
Was it 35-10?
35-10!
Nice! That's what it's all about, see? Now get me in the cockpit. So, I got a library card. I took out some books, started reading about how to fly Cessnas, small planes. And, the craziest thing was I went to this yard sale and they had these VHS tapes. Learn to fly. This is before YouTube. This is back, the late 90s I was learning this stuff. I was 18 years old. People were like, oh, this kid's just curious, Then what I did was I actually built like a model flight deck. I took like a big piece of oak tag and I would draw the instrument panel because I wanted to get used to it. I wasn't going to get any real flight simulation. I could just sit there holding like a piece of cardboard with my, my 6-pack, my altimeter and my attitude indicator and my, flight speed indicator, the needle ball, all these terms. I'm trying to learn them. And, I just kept pretending. And finally I was like, pretending's not good enough. I got to get in a real plane. And I knew about this private airfield about 10 miles from where we lived. There was this rich dude. He was like, I think he owned a casino, maybe he owned a pro sports team or something. I don't know, but he had a private jet and he had a private airfield. And all he had around it was a chain link fence, no security. After I kept learning and studying, one night I just went over there and I looked around, no one was there, so I climbed that little fence. This is pre 9/11. There was no security. These airfields were just unmanned. I ran over, I looked in, it looked just like what I had designed. There was the instrument panel, there was a throttle, here was the yoke, you know? I just kind of started doing it. I pushed in the throttle, we started speeding up, you know? And I was thinking, it's like Back to the Future, you know? You have to hit a certain speed before you can really take off. I was going 55 knots, which is about, I don't know, maybe 70, 80 miles an hour. And I start pulling back on the yoke. Airborne, baby. It was unbelievable. I was like, should I just put it right back down right now? But the strip was ending. I had to keep going, you know? I knew I was gonna have to go up and at least circle around. But once I got it up, I was like, well, I'm not circling around. I'm going for a little joyride in this thing. And the view of the desert from, I mean, I was up maybe only like 1,000 feet, but I'd never seen a view like that. Just circled around for about 10 minutes, cruised back down. Now the landing, this is what I'd studied, that the landing was the challenging part. You have to get real low to come in at a certain angle, get to like 10 feet above the ground and just keep idling back, throttling back until you basically stall it out, nose up, tail down. And I think I pulled it back too much because I thought I was hitting the tail on the back. I was like, stealing this plane's one thing, but wrecking it myself up, that's a whole nother story. But I landed it, the landing gear touched down, I rolled it back to right where I took it, and that's when it hit me. I never even checked the fuel gauge on this thing because I could have ran out of fuel up there. As I landed, I finally looked and realized the thing still had half a tank, so I was cool. I just rolled it back to where I got it. I was up in the air for maybe 30 minutes, but my heart was pounding through my chest. It was the most exhilarating feeling I ever had. And I just climbed that fence, ran back to where I parked my car about a mile away, cruised home. I couldn't sleep that night. I was so excited about what I had done, and I felt like I had to tell someone about it, but I was like, this wasn't just like taking a car for a joyride. This is like federal crime, I think. So I didn't tell anyone except my one buddy. This guy was like a, skate rag guy. He loved things with wheels. Then things got complicated.
This just got real for Jared. I mean, listen, the stakes are sky high right now. Okay, he's flying a stolen airplane. With zero training, this guy right here is really rolling the dice. And we all know he just escaped some prison time, but will he crash and burn in the process? Answers are all coming up next on Statute of Limitations. Way back in the day, our boy Jared stole a plane. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. This dude actually had the confidence to fly a plane with very little experience. Now talk about a flight risk. Now Jared's about to land in a whole heap of trouble. Just watch this.
I couldn't sleep that night. I was so excited about what I had done, and I felt like I had to tell someone about it, but I was like, this wasn't just like taking a car for a joyride. This is like federal crime, I think. So I didn't tell anyone except my one buddy. This guy was like a, skate rag guy. He loved things with wheels. So he wanted to get in something with wheels and then go wheels up. So he insisted he come with me the next week when I tried it again. But he was more of a daredevil. I mean, what I was doing was crazy enough, but what this guy wanted me to do was go way high, like 1,500 feet up, and then dive it back down strong to like 500 feet. I mean, I was doing it because I didn't want the guy to think I was a coward. What I didn't realize was this dude had brought a backpack filled with water balloons that he had filled with paint. And when we got about 500 feet above these houses, he was leaning out. There was a little window. He opened it and he was leaning out, throwing the water balloons down. He wasn't hitting anything, but he was just he's a crazy dude. I was like, we got to get back before someone looks up, sees that we're doing this, and calls the cops on us, because I'm trying to do this stealthy. I want to get back to the airfield, land it, get the hell out of there. Another like 20, 30 minutes. But he's insisting we cruise around again. We probably spent about an hour up there. It was getting dark by the time we landed, and there are lights and everything, but I'm trying to do this by, eyesight. So we got there. It was getting pretty dusky. We landed. Again, not very good with the tail. I was leaning back too much. I think I kind of almost, bounced the tail, but it was smoother than the first time. And I was like, I'm getting better at this, man. And again, the thrill was still very strong. And I was like, I just gotta come back and keep doing this. I gotta get better. So we went back, brought my buddy again, told him no water balloons this time. We're just gonna go up. You know, maybe try to get up 1,500, 2,000 feet. I don't know. We'll see. Just got to get that adrenaline rush again. But I had a bad feeling about this one. I don't know. I was like, yeah, we got lucky doing it twice. A third time, can I really get away with this again? But we were up for only about 20, 30 minutes. It was getting late. As we were coming in for the landing, I noticed something was a little different. We were getting super low. You know, this time I had the tail nose just right. I was just about to idle out the engine. Touchdown gently. And then I saw him. 3 cop cars over by the hangar waiting for us. I don't know how they knew, but I got the hell out of there, man. I just, pulled back, took it right back off, and got the hell out of there. Now, I didn't know where I was going to go, but I knew I wasn't going to land there. So we just kept going. Man, I tell you, when I think about that, I mean, the view from up there was gorgeous, but the panic attack that I was going through was not worth it, man. My heart was beating through my chest. My buddy was just laughing. He was enjoying it. I mean, there are some other landing strips near there, but there are people there, I can't go there. So we just kept cruising west. I was a little bit west of Vegas there. I noticed there was a nice flat land there. So I'm trying to touch down, but it's bumpy. It's flat, but it's bumpy. I'm nervous as hell, man. I mean, it's getting dark. There's no lights. My hands are sweaty. My heart's beating through my chest. But I saw a nice piece of land. We touched it down. We landed that plane. I don't know how I did it. We landed it and got the hell out of there. Ran for about 3 miles. Then we saw Blue Diamond Road. We knew that would take us back into Vegas. Just started hiking, man. Hiked all night. It was freezing cold. But by the time the sun came up, I was back in Vegas and home free. I was young, I was stupid, I was reckless. I wouldn't do it again. But the statute of limitations is over. I didn't get caught. It was awesome.
Jared landed on a wing and a prayer. And while he could have also landed in jail, he stayed off the cops' radar long enough to outrun the law, which propelled him right here in front of us for statute of limitations. Amazing situation, right? That's a wrap for this episode. I'm Mike Situation Sorrentino. If you or someone you know has committed a crime and they want to send in their story, just kidding, guys. We got tons of crazy stories, some things that I would do and some things I wouldn't do, but you know what I really would do? Watch this show. Peace. This program is for entertainment purposes only, and it is not legal advice. The statute of limitations are complicated and depend on many factors. If you need advice, you should seek legal counsel from a competent attorney in your jurisdiction.